Hi there, my name is Chelsea, and if you are new here, I'm here to share all things self-love and self-care. Today I'm going to share the 5 things that helped me through my first year of sobriety. I just celebrated 3 years alcohol free, which is so crazy to even say out loud because I never really saw this life for myself, but I'm so glad I made this decision. And I just want you to know that if you recently quit, the first year is really the toughest. So you just gotta hang in there and know that for me personally, it got a lot easier after that first year. And by now, year 3, it's like autopilot. I really don't think about alcohol ever, and it's really nice. So this leads me to the 5 things that helped me most in my first year of quitting. First thing, I let myself indulge a little bit more. What I mean by this is if I was having a stressful night, I would let myself go get some fast food and I wouldn't overthink it or feel guilty about it. My number one priority was to not drink. So if these little comforts helped in the meantime, I was okay with it. Same thing for going to a restaurant. I would order a Coca-Cola or something sweet like a lemonade. This was a little bit out of character for me because I was so alcohol focused that I never really drank those types of things. But this kind of just helped create that buffer and that sense of comfort in that very first year of quitting. And I know that some people go the complete opposite route and they are really fitness focused and they wouldn't do that. So whatever works for you. But for me, I just wanted simple comforts to help me through. And one way that I rationalized this decision was I never felt bad about going and picking up fast food when I was drunk and wanted to soak up the alcohol. I never felt bad, when I was hungover. I just felt like, oh, I need this food to make me feel better. I never really cared in those moments. So why not treat myself to a sober treat if it's what gets me through the night? And the second thing that helped me was non-alcoholic substitutes. Now, I know the topic of non-alcoholic substitutions are kind of a gray area. It's a little controversial for some. For me personally, I don't feel triggered to go have the real thing after I've had, let's say, a non-alcoholic beer. I feel completely fine, I enjoy the taste, and it's something I really only have on special occasions. That being said, if you are someone who has a non-alcoholic substitution and you feel triggered to go have the real thing, or it can cause a relapse or jeopardize your sobriety, I would not even go there. You can have a soda water with lime, a Red Bull, something that's not going to trigger you. For me, in a social situation, let's say it's a bar and it's someone's birthday and your friends are drinking, I love the option of a non-alcoholic beer. I like the taste. I like the fact that it's a nice distraction. It helps me not focus so much on the fact that I'm not drinking. It kind of tricks my brain into just relaxing a little bit. And I really enjoy that. Another thing I really enjoy are mocktails. In my area, I live in Seattle, there's a lot of restaurants that have specific menus dedicated to really creative mocktail options. If I were you, I would look in your area to see if there are any restaurants that participate and do something fun like that. Non-alcoholic substitutes can be really fun in moderation, especially on special occasions or in environments where other people are drinking. Third thing that really helped me, I sought out therapy. One thing about quitting alcohol is if you were a heavy drinker who drank for a long time, you probably suppressed a lot of tough emotions, trauma, pain, and when you remove the alcohol, a lot of that comes flooding in. And it can be overwhelming, and my body's response to that was to slip into a mild depression for a couple months. And I know that this can be pretty common. I've heard other people talk about it as well. There are theories that when your brain is healing, it could be causing this depression too. I'm not sure. I'm not a professional. But what I do know is that I benefited from seeing a therapist in that first year of being alcohol free. Another thing that was helpful another reason that was helpful for me was because I just felt like such a fish out of water. I didn't really know who I was without drinking. So much of my lifestyle was built around that in my social life that you kind of have a mini identity crisis if you're anything like me. And seeing a therapist was another way for me to just kind of ground myself and process these feelings as they came up. If therapy is available to you and within your budget, I highly recommend seeing a therapist in that first year, at least, of quitting alcohol. That being said, I know that it can be extremely challenging to find a therapist that's either in your budget or covered by your insurance, or even just available if you're living in a small town. And so something that helped me personally that you might be able to explore is something called Open Path Collective, and it's an organization that'll help you get therapy and put you in contact with therapists that will give you an out-of-pocket rate that is affordable and a lot more realistic than the whole $200 a session or whatever it might normally cost. I think for me it was about $30 a session, which was a lot more affordable than paying full price. So yeah, my insurance didn't cover therapy, and Open Path Collective was the only way I was able to afford doing so. So I will link their website down below so you can check them out if that is a resource that you are interested in. Fourth thing that really helped me is I started journaling. This was big for me because I was so used to suppressing my emotions that I didn't know what to do with them. I didn't know how to process emotions effectively. I just kind of felt overwhelmed. So having a journal was like having a dedicated, safe space where I could just dump out all my thoughts and all my feelings in an unfiltered and raw way. And it really helped me work that muscle in a way. It made me strengthen my ability to identify what emotion I'm feeling, understand why I'm feeling that way. Sometimes I don't understand, but you can try. And to just have a safe place to put it all so that you're not constantly emotionally dumping on the people around you, because that can be overwhelming for other people as well. Right off the bat, I want to tell you that all of your emotions are valid. No matter how cringy or uncomfortable they may feel, they are valid. So that is something I really had to learn in that first year, is to not shame myself for feeling anything and to just let it come up. And that is where that journal was so instrumental for me, in just having a safe space to let it all out. Therapists called it a brain dump. So the point is to not hold back, to let it all out. I would do it most mornings, sometimes nights too. I remember in that first year, I had some pretty intense journal entries where I was just venting it all out, but it gave me a place to put that so it wasn't all stuck inside of me. And that was a really freeing feeling, and that helped me heal a lot on this journey, especially in that first year. I know that one thing that holds people back from putting all their feelings into a journal is that fear that someone's gonna read it. So there are some things you can do to make yourself feel more comfortable. You could buy a shredder for like $30 off Amazon or your local office supply store. You could shred it immediately after you write it. You could hide your journal. They have cute little lock boxes that you could, store your journal in there. But the point is I think that journaling is so beneficial that I hope that you know that there are solutions to that, and there is a way where you could safely let it all out and feel secure in it not being read by someone else. And the fifth and last thing that really helped me was seeking an online sober community. I did mention this in my last video, but I just want to remind you that even though it feels like you're alone, you're not. There are a lot of people who live their lives without alcohol and are in the same position as you, and it's actually becoming more and more popular. So it's really important to remind yourself that and find safe spaces where when you are feeling alone or you are feeling kind of isolated in your decision, you can go to this place and see, okay, no, there's a lot of people like me, and it's just a really comforting feeling. What I did is I created a separate Instagram account where I shared a little bit about my journey, and I specifically followed people who were on a similar journey. And the way that I did that was through searching hashtags, things like hashtag sober curious, hashtag teetotal, hashtag alcohol-free lifestyle, hashtag dry life, just anything that would sort of connect me to certain accounts that I could follow. And then when I'm scrolling through that feed on that specific account, that's going to be all people who are on a similar journey to me. And that's going to be my safe space where I can go to on those tough days or in those tough moments where I feel isolated in my decision to not drink. In your search for other sober accounts, sometimes you'll come across people who are putting together sober meetups in your area, and if that's something you'd prefer or something you'd additionally benefit from, you can absolutely try to meet people in person and find community in that way too. Most importantly, I want you to remember that you're not alone in this decision. There are other people like you, and while it might be less conventional, that's okay. That's just more reason to be proud of yourself, and you never know, you not drinking could inspire someone else. So I just want you to be proud of yourself for this decision. And those are the 5 things that helped me most in my first year of quitting alcohol. If you've recently quit, I would love if you could leave a comment below and let me know how long you've been alcohol-free. Even if it's just been a day, I want to congratulate you personally. And if you haven't quit and you are sober curious, I hope this video helps you to reevaluate your relationship with alcohol. And if you have any questions about the alcohol-free lifestyle, feel free to comment down below, and I would love to answer any questions you may have. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below, and I'll see you in my next video.